Welcome back to Sampstra Games, the place to find new strategy games, and there's a brand new DLC called Blitzkrieg for Unity of Command 2. So I'm going to be doing my guides on how to complete all the objectives. Now, first up, I've started the game. I haven't bought any cards because typically what I do in my guides is that I do not use any cards because you can't guarantee that you'll get the same cards if you try to replay that. And then I upgraded my HQ. I made sure that I get the set piece attack and feint attack and suppressive fire. So I paid up here. We're going to do the same thing for the second thing. That's all. You want to have some prestige left to get some cool units like engineers and things like that. And now we're going to end the conference and start with Danzig Corridor. Welcome to my tactics window on how to complete all the objectives in Danzig Corridor. So the name of the game here is really Blitzkrieg. The thing about Blitzkrieg is that they have this little big river here. So that means they won't be able to attack from this direction. So they generally will be able to attack from this hex, and if you can get a unit to go from the bottom, then from there as well. So when you're going to be attacking on Blitzkrieg, you first of all need to make sure that you get your units close enough, and then you also want to make sure that your units are able to move in and out so that you can step in with the other units. Now, the way you want to do this is you want to make sure that you put some pioneers on these two units, and you take away the pioneers from this unit and move it up here. This will allow you to do some better attacks. On the first turn, you will want to focus on Grudiats. Use even things like airstrike. Just make sure that you get this objective as quickly as possible. And then you want to make sure that you hurt this unit and take over this supply. This unit needs to be dead by turn 2 or at turn 2 so that you can move the majority of your units away. Then on the first turn, what you also want to do is you want to make sure that the majority of your units are going to be moving towards Blitzkrieg. These two German motorized units are going to be moving towards Tahula Forest to lock them in, because what you can do is if you take over this hex, you will be able to unsupply this entire area, which means that the people in Tahula Forest will be unsupplied. Unfortunately, that does not apply for Gdynia and Danzig because they have supply hubs where they are. So at the end of first turn, you should have Grudziad or hurt it significantly. You should also take over this hex. Also during the first or second turn, you want to make sure that you use this naval attack on Danzig, and you want to make sure that you do some nice damage to Danzig. Now at the start of turn 3, you should be able to have Grudzak and Danzig, and you will be focusing on Blitzkrieg. Make sure that you use your units as much as you can. Also, at the end of turn 3 or start of turn 4, you should be able to destroy Tahula Forest without taking any damage, just with your motorized units and maybe one infantry, because the units that were there are going to be unsupplied. And then your focus is going to be really Tarun and Gdynia. Now, because you should manage to get Grudzat at the end of turn 1 or 2, you should be able to get to Tarun fairly easily, so you should get it around turn 4 or 5. Now, Gdynia, the playthrough I'm going to show you is I get it by the end of turn 4, but if you want to go a little bit slower, you're playing on higher difficulties and you need to be a bit more careful, you should still be easily able to get it by turn 5. Alright, so I think it's time to get started. So the first thing you want to do is you want to move the supply hub that's on the east one step to the west, and then the 2 supply hubs that are on the west of the screen are going to turn into 3 supply. I'm going to be adding pioneers to the 2 units that you can see, and removing the pioneer units from the tank and replacing it to the other unit. And that's all you have to do before you start the first turn, and then you can just begin. Now, like I explained in the tactics window, I want to start focusing on Grudziad, so I'm going to be using an airstrike, even though typically airstrike are not the thing you want to do. Here it's actually beneficial. Now, I didn't quite manage to make the unit at retreat. That's okay, that sometimes happens. So what you do is you move this big unit that has more steps back into the hex. Taking over this hex is really important because it will unsupply the enemy area, and you're going to take the weaker unit, only has 3 steps, and move it into the city. They will most likely try to attack this unit and might try to kill it. That's alright. The main focus here is that you take over that supply with the more important unit. We're going to get the elite replacement card, which we're not going to be using because we don't need it. Then I'm going to moving my units on the top near Danzig and Gdynia. Then you want to start by using your stronger engineers to attack the unit there, and then you're going to move your non-engineer unit down to take over the supply, and then you can grab your second engineers and do a 0-2. You could also attack with the regular unit, but it's not as beneficial because it's a 1-1 as opposed with the engineer where you don't get hurt at all because it's a 0-2, so that's better. With the majority of your units, you just want to move towards Bigosh, but your German motorized unit are going to move upwards towards Tohola Forest. Your tank should start moving towards Bigosh, but you also obviously want to take over some units as you can, if you can, on the way. We're going to do a feint attack here to make it a bit easier on the tank to do some more damage. And because we got overrun, we can continue moving with our tank, do some more attacks, and move forward. This is an interesting opportunity. We could either grab their HQ, which means they won't be able to use any special abilities next turn, or we could try to move down here towards, because we're actually going to take over the HQ. This is not really like an important part of, you know, in order to win, like it doesn't matter. But it's a good thing to do, because if you step over it, they don't have any points, so they won't be able to do much right now. Now this unit is weak. It's totally possible that they will take over Grujats. There's another way this could turn out. Sometimes your unit will stand over there and then they will take over it. It's not really that much of a problem, even if they take over, because you can always get it back later. Now here what you can do is you can go straight up into Danzig. You might choose to wait with this and use it on next turn, because it's easier if you can immediately attack them up. Otherwise they might step into there with some other unit. But in this case, I might actually want to do it immediately. Again, not necessary. But it's a possibility. We can get in there. So they might choose this other unit to step over there, but either way, one of these objectives should be empty. Like I said, if you don't want to do it this turn, you can do it next turn. And then the benefit is that you're going to have more units around that you can use up to protect things. Also, I noticed with the positioning of my people, the enemy here is unsupplied, so you do not need to actually attack Tohola Forest, because if you wait a few turns, it will get unsupplied. However, there's one benefit to attacking Tohola Forest early, and that's the fact that it will give you additional supply track, which could help you out over here. Because if you look at my supply, if I move any step further, my units will be unsupplied there, so that's actually not as good. Let's start by moving my engineers. And then with the engineers, we can't really use any of our special abilities because we're not close enough to our HQ, which is not ideal. Let's do a 0-2 here. Now we need to step into Danzig just for the sake of having it. And then we could have this, actually we could have this unit stay. Other units are going to move down towards Tarun. And this should also move downwards. Now, next thing you need to focus on is Bigosh. Bigosh is a lot more difficult than it seems. So, and you don't have that many turns on it. So you want to make sure that you do things. You need to move forward with your engineers so that in the following turn, you will have people there with access. Then I'm going to move this unit here so it can walk from the bottom to be able to attack it across that bridge. Now my other engineers need to move back up, and someone needs to kill this unit so that it doesn't take over any objectives that you might have there. That means now that we don't have to worry about watching over Schneidemul, because there's no one here to take it. Okay. Now we're going to use here... Actually, do we want to use the feint attack? We could, but we don't necessarily need to. Move with these guys closer, but not quite in range of that. Just take over some of these places. That's out of range now, but... Oh. Okay, what we're gonna do here is, yeah, we're gonna let them take a step back so that we can make sure they're spot. I don't want to go into the Tuhula Forest too soon. It's not necessary, and it's just going to make it a little bit more difficult for you. So let's do let's do emergency supply on my tank, just because, and we can do a 1-1. Yeah, let's do a 1-1. Why not? Okay, the people in British actually stepped away. Not good for us. Well, it's pointless for us because we can't step in. But like I said, this is a very low percentage, so they'll probably step back in next time. Then we can do like the proper combat that you would normally do with them there. Now, what we do want to focus on here is Gdynia. So we're going to grab that airstrike. And we'll start with the 1-1. And can really move away with them. And these guys can't quite get close enough. So we're just going to, I think, stay the way we are over there. And we could do some 1-1s here. Like I said, we're not going to do it. So we're just going to end our turn. Yeah, they're going to go back to Bigosh. That was obvious. They have to protect it. Now this time we do need to take Bigosh, so that's something I want to focus on. We start with the 0-2 here with our engineer. Then we want to step back so others can step in. For example, oh, these engineers can't quite get there. That's a bit sad. Regardless, let's check who can get there. So we're going to move this unit down here. It's going to get ready to attack, but we're not going to attack just yet. We could get a 2-1. We're going to do a feint attack with the tank. And then fall towards the room. These guys cannot move close enough. These guys... Now we can get a 2-1. We also move with our other units. We get a 1-1 with this, which is quite nice. Or with these guys. So let's move 1-1 here. We could also do a feint attack. I am considering it. Instead of doing straight up kill... No, I think the kill gives us a better shot here. Let's do a straight up shot. Alright, they already moved away. So then we can step inside with some of our other units, take over Bigosh. And later on we're going to try to move towards them and hit them up. Now here we're going to focus on the Tuhula Forest next. We can do 0-2 here and we should be able, yes, to step in and do another 0-2. Now we're going to have that supply transport. Actually, I don't think I need to use it right now. Well, let's kill these guys up. Now normally when you use it is you use it over here. You place a bit more so you can move around, but we actually don't necessarily need to do that. Now we've got 2 more turns for Gdynia. So what we're gonna do here, we're just gonna place ourselves around this place. Kind of get ready. We might move with some other units to help out, like with this one. For later. Now we also have Turin, for which we also have 2 turns. But we got some better options here. We can do 1-2. Oh, they're already running away. Again, if they didn't run away in your case, you just want to move closer with some of these other units and then next turn do like a stronger attack. But for me, I can just kind of step in. Also, actually, I might not want to step in with this unit. Yeah, we'll step in with this one because this one is very weak. So we want to make sure it doesn't, you know, get accidentally killed. Also, I want to make sure where I'm not supplied. Like, these guys are not supplied. Could you just, like, take a step back? Yeah, just want to make sure that I don't, like, lose up my supply for particularly no reason. Move closer. Good. Now, the only thing left is these guys over here. And let's move this unit actually there just so we can be surrounding them, and then Gdynia, which we'll leave for next turn. You can do it this turn as well. Oh, okay, and one more thing. You might want to move your HQ. If I move it to here, is that going to be in range of them? I think it's going to. And the reason why I'm talking about moving your HQ is because you took all of these objectives, but with Gdynia, you cannot use any special abilities. You can't use feint attacks, something like that, because your HQ is not close enough. So if you were to move it, the benefit obviously would be that at least, for example, this unit can use feint attack next turn, which will make sure that you have less losses. Okay? So again, let's just end our turn here. Okay, we can use some air attacks, so that's a good point. Let's use some air attacks. So we're gonna use our air attacks on that unit. Let's go with this, well, the Gdynia thing, again, you are risking having the city turn into ruins, but I guess we'll do it. It didn't do anything. Okay, that's fine. And we also have a new unit that we can place somewhere, so we're gonna place this infantry here and move it towards the Tuchola forest. Now, one thing to keep in mind when you have this unit all over the place, make sure that you always have someone either covering our city or through zone of control like these two, ensuring that the enemy cannot get to the city, otherwise you might get in trouble with Danzig, but again, we're fine. They're moving closer to Big Dosh, but they can't hit it anyway. We could get a 1-1 here with these guys, we could get a 1-1 as well. Can't seem to really get better odds, so you might want to think if you even want to bother like attacking here or not. We could use something like suppressive fire, but our focus is Gdynia, so we're gonna focus on that first. Now you can see here that I can now use the feint attack, so I'm going to. Now this is a 0 to attack, and here this is a 1-1. Which will give us a pretty good chance of them retreating. I'm trying to figure out if there's like a, yeah, this is 0-1, so this is better. Okay, we got it. Now at this point we have all the objectives. Now we can pick a specialized feint attack for free, so let's do that. Okay, next up we're just gonna hit these guys. They don't have any supply, so it should be pretty easy kill for you, and you get that extra experience, which is always useful. Now here we've got 4-0, 1-1, and you guys could give me 2-1. I will start with the set piece attack here, because we can. And then I'll do an airstrike on this side. Try to do some nice damage. It's only a 1-1. Again, it's kind of your choice if you want to take the loss but get the XP or not. I am probably not going to do anything here. I'm just going to keep it with fairly low losses. Now, we finished this on turn 4. So obviously you have some turn left. If you're looking at the total amount of turns, then you have 8 turns total. But if you're looking at like by the time you need to have the objectives, then we made it with 1 turn to spare. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, write down in the comments, and you can click on the right to watch my to watch the next episode, or to watch my other guides for the main game, or just general tips and tricks how to play Unity of Command 2. I'll see you there. Bye bye!